this was another episode. I know that like last episode, I was just like, man, like, oh, I feel stupid. I should have known Frank was going to do something like that, whatever. I feel a little bit better because watching Veronica work this episode and watching the whole house not catch on, I was like, yeah, see, stuff like this can be easily missed.
What I don't understand though is like why like earlier in the episode we literally see Nani talking and she's like, this is the last conversation we're having. Nobody switch it up. And then walks in the next morning and goes, so what did we hear? Oh, it's us. All right, we're voting in Nicole now. Like
Totally dropped all pretenses of what we just previously talked about. And it's just like, just go and change it up. That is
like
we
it
shouldn't
doesn't
have,
matter who another team's targeting. That shouldn't matter to you.
I don't feel like we should expect a better game move from Nani than that. But Nani has not exactly been a strategic mastermind in this game. She does have a lot of skin in the game, has played for a long time, but masterminding alliances, she's always been a part. She's always been a gear in the machine of an alliance, never a leading part.
But I think this episode she actually played her hand really well though. Like I
Yes,
honestly
I do
because like
think she came out on top from it, but it was just frustrating watching this whole thing just fall apart the way that it did.
yeah, and it fell apart because it was reactionary. It was based on emotions and everything. And it has to be like, oh, you're somebody's targeting me. I don't care. We're sticking with our target because we have the numbers. It doesn't matter who's saying blah blah blah's name because we have the numbers. So it's just that's the only part. But otherwise, I mean, her saying if we put in Veronica and Katie, that's going to protect us because Steve and Adam don't want to see them go home. Like that's a smart game move. And then also to say like, I will repay you back. I don't know why Adam and Steve didn't put in Nani and Turbo. They've already said their name like three times. And the fact that they were like, we got you one time next time. And they just did it. Like, didn't you just see what happened to Frank and Sam and Leroy and Devin? Like,
Yeah, all means for nothing. Let's go ahead and bring this episode in. What's really good, pot stirs? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder, and this is Showtime. Let's go ahead and get it in. Tyler, why are you grinning?
Showtime. It's
Showtime.
Love War Challenges.
I know, I loved it. Showtime.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Not a whole lot went on to the A block. We get to see that Veronica and Frank are really starting to take shape, realizing they're going to need to make bigger moves. It's crazy that the two most perceived weakest teams are putting the things together to make moves to get stronger teams knocked out. At this point in the game, on paper, how does this strategy look to you? Good idea, bad idea?
I mean, it's a good idea to because it depends on what you're thinking of. Is it to make it to the next day? Is it to make it to a final? Is it to win a final? And this whole play is to win a final. The strongest teams aren't there. I can win. This is exactly what Corey's been trying to do since the beginning. The only difference is it's just he was too flashy about it, too open about it. And Frank is like adapting this gameplay differently, which is interesting because it's coming from a person that I think if you asked Frank, he would want to go to a final against like Jordan and West and CT and Bananas, and he'd want to take them all on.
I think he
Like
would say that. I don't think he
no,
would want to do that.
I think that he would want to. I think that he believes. Okay, I think he would try and play not to that way, but I think that he is confident in himself enough to go head to head against any of them. That's what I think.
100%. I don't hate the gameplay. It almost strikes me as anyone but me, which kind of works for them in their position. We did get another scene of Shane and Davon, and they're saying they're politicking.
Mhm.
And here goes the funny thing is, they're sitting there politicking, they're trying to come up with strategy. It really does not matter. They're nobody's enemy. They got enough friendships in the house. And surprisingly, this is one of the teams I was really most excited to see. And this season, I find them both to be boring. And also on Twitter, I put out a tweet about Davon, and Shane. I misspelled her name. I appreciated the correction, but, Yeah, yes, chill. I just wanted to say I misspelled the name because I'm bad at spelling. That's
What'd you
all.
forget? Did you forget the second N?
No, I spelled it like Dayvonne or
Oh
something like
gosh.
that.
Oh, you spelled it Davon.
Yeah. You
It's
know what though?
Devon.
I will say this. I should have known better. I should have known better. This is how long she's been off of the show,
Yeah.
but I should have
I
known
will
better.
say this though, it's interesting because normally when you see these things of like people talking about being in the middle and should we pick sides, what do we do? Normally when we get to like nominations, TJ calls on them first, like because production knows that they're in the middle and they want to make them make a choice. Where instead, every time they vote, they're like the fifth or sixth person to vote, so they just go, well, the majority's already spoke, so we'll kind of go with the majority,
They're
and they just make
literally
it
in the
seem like
middle.
it's nothing. But like if they had to do it first, who do they call out? What side do they pick versus, and that's why nobody's mad at them because
Hey,
they're always just kind of the house, and TJ tried. He tried to be like,
he
who's
did.
they?
Let me. I'm going to save this for when we come to nominations. But I
Yeah,
do got a question for you. Let's go ahead and move on to today's daily. Today's daily is called "Playing Dirty." A
hey,
very appropriate name. I thought something slide was going to be put in there, but
sure.
"Playing Dirty" is a very appropriate name. Good job on Challenge Production on not fucking up the naming of the dailies and eliminations. Basically, everybody's on a big slide. You have to slide down. It reveals symbols. You have to decipher the symbols. It give you a passphrase. Whoever does this the quickest wins. TJ lets us know that the star from Devin and Leroy is going to be up for grabs. All you have to do is be a non-star winner and come in first, a non-star holder and come in first.
Mhm.
Let's focus on that for a second because I absolutely, absolutely hate that. I think if you beat a star holder in elimination, you should get the star.
Right, but then it comes to the factor of like last season, this whole situation would have happened where Adam and Steve would have been able to gift it to whoever, which is it is its own strategy. Do you give it to your friends? Do you give it to your enemy to make them a target?
Time out
Like
real quick. Does it only go to a challenge if a star holder wins? Because if you don't have a star, then do you get the star?
yeah, yeah. So like on today's
That makes
episode,
sense.
if
That
Big
makes
T and
sense.
Corey would have won, they just earned that star.
Got you. Okay. That makes sense. Look at me all fake mad for no reason.
There you go. No, but yeah, but I mean, it's. I thought it was interesting because what it did is it made it that like, hey, we're giving out a star today, and it's going to anybody. So now people are seeing you don't have to risk your life in elimination. You can win a daily, or you can be just the best non-star winner to win,
Oh,
and that's what happened
that's
today.
so suspect. That's iffy, man.
But it's a new twist on this star holder thing. And here's the thing: what do we always talk about? The whole point of the game is to never go into elimination to win. Like if your game is good enough, you never see an elimination and you make a final, aka
I should
Jordan.
I should have gotten a cup, man. This looks
Yeah,
ridiculous on
it
camera.
is. But for real, it's AKA it's Jordan on air on season 40. Don't go into elimination, get to a final, dominate. That's the whole point of the game. Going to elimination shouldn't be. So the fact that there's a way to get stars without going, and we have to remember, how do our star holders get stars in the beginning? They
They got
place
it. They,
top
yep.
four in a daily.
Which I
So
was also fine with.
yeah, so I'm okay with this. The daily itself I thought was really good because it's hard for us to tell as fans to know who is winning because at a moment's notice you could solve it. We saw different strategies, some that worked, some that didn't. So I really liked how it wasn't just like a hall brawl where it's like you run straight, you hit somebody, it's done. Which those are entertaining, but like this is who's gonna win? We don't know. And this fact that they did it in heats, so we still didn't know who was in first was pretty clever.
I did like a lot about this daily. This is another one of those dailies that anybody could win. If even if it's a female team, female team, male.
Mhm.
I feel like they could all be on equal footings. Of course, the size of people might have effect, but even then, I think whatever positives is going to be minimal at best. And that's if they actually do it. Like we saw Sam's like, hey, I'm going to go sideways. Cleared out a lot. I'm surprised more people didn't do that. Corey was doing the thing. Oh, I'm going to hang off and kick it with my feet. Like, what are you doing?
I
I,
mean, I thought the concept was all right for him because then you can kind of see if there's a star up top, you know where to slide first. But I mean, let's talk about how we're saying people that have different sizes could maybe have an advantage here. Frank did the most by himself because Sam only went down twice before she went. And then Frank, everybody said he went like 7, 8 times by himself. and they got it done.
And
Versus,
Frank can swim. He got speed.
yeah,
Still pretty athletic.
mhm. Yeah. And then the team that did it the best was Adam and Steve, obviously coming out with the victory, protecting themselves finally. I'm seeing a lot of people talk online that are like, "Oh, this is so boring because the same people go in." Hang on. This is literally the challenge since the beginning. That is what has been happening since forever. The only difference is they're winning a lot of eliminations, so they're
Yeah,
staying. But normally
exactly.
people lose on like their third elimination, and
Right.
now it's somebody
If they're
new.
lucky. And what? There's only a handful of people who've gone five.
Well, and they talked about this like on Fresh Meat. I think I brought this up too, that Wes and Casey went in 5 times,
Hmm.
and I guess Wes made a comment to all of them. It was like, just so you guys know, I'm the person sending all your friends home and sending my friends home, and I'm sending everybody home. I'm getting the most TV time. So if you guys want to get on TV, and be the stars of the show, you probably should send somebody else in. And I guess like he made that comment once on he was talking to Scott and Derek, and that's kind of where it like shifted and somebody else got sent in. He got like a break after 4 and then went right back in on the sixth
That
one. But
that's a very good point because Wes can also put on that producer hat and realize that and use it to his advantage. Yeah, Adam and Steve, who is showcased at the end of every episode all of this time, and it doesn't really feel like they're using it. Now, granted, I don't think Adam and Steve I don't think their intention is to be on TV as much as possible, whatever. I'm
no,
sure they want to be interesting and win the money or whatever. And I think
yeah,
that just kind of comes with age because, I mean, I don't know. Wes is a
it
little
comes
bit
with
older.
all.
He still wants his TV time.
That's yeah. I just think it's like he knows he makes good TV. Like he knows it's entertaining. And like if you go on like a Facebook group right now, I bet if you scroll somewhere within 10, 15 posts, somebody is talking about Wes, Bananas, or CT's personal life, or Jordan, or Laurel, or Car. Like the people that make good TV are in conversations, even when there's not a show with them going on right now. So
These are facts. Um, Jordan has been doing a lot of like behind the scenes stuff of being asked questions about the challenge and filling it in. And I've really come to appreciate those because
you
I
could
love the
not get
behind.
away with that if he wasn't as good as he was.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. But also, I think it's kind of okay. It's almost like professional wrestling, how they lifted the curtain a couple years ago and finally
Press
letting people.
conferences.
I mean, look at all of the engagement they're able to farm from it. I mean, it was one thing where like, oh, the WWE is $1 billion company and now it's multi-billion dollars because they're able to go in so many different avenues, opening it up some.
We didn't even talk about like we haven't even like spoke about like I know it's off topic of the challenge, but
You
like
talk about the Elimination Chamber?
John Cena turning heel, like that
No,
is
no,
it is
listen, listen,
so
listen, listen. This isn't the first time John Cena been heel.
no
Like
no no
we've
no
seen
no
him heel
no.
before. And anybody who's seen Total Divas knows that he's a heel in
Okay.
real life.
Okay. Okay. But here's the thing. Ever since he became a good guy in like 2004, it was like late 2003, 2000, or yeah, when he did. So we're talking 20 plus years of being a good guy, 20 plus years of being the top of the company, 20 plus years of being a Make a Wish Foundation guy. John Cena has more Make a Wishes than like the next 5 guys combined, like 5 athletes or celebrities. He literally did a Make a Wish earlier before the show that night and then turns here. It is crazy. And the reason why I want to talk about this because I'm trying to relate to everybody that doesn't understand wrestling. It isn't because I tried talking to I saw somebody in like, well, how do we explain it to like women that don't care about wrestling? And they were like, this is like Sabrina Carpenter is about to get best artist at whatever the Grammys, whatever they do for the Grammys. And
She does that espresso song.
okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
one of the
yeah.
most
I know who
popular.
she is.
Okay,
Look at
anyways,
that relevant. I be on TikTok.
it's like her or Chappelle Roan, who's like really popular right now, are about to win, and
I don't know
Kanye
who
is
that
the
is.
host, and hang on, just listen, and then Taylor Swift walks up and starts making out with Kanye and punches Sabrina Carpenter. That's the John Cena heel turn equivalent. Now for the challenge, this would literally be like Johnny Bananas sending Leroy into elimination and flipping him off while he did it.
But Johnny Bananas always kind of played a heel character.
No, no, but this would literally him being saying it. It wouldn't just be like Sly or like. Well, if he goes in, it's like him going, Leroy, I want you to go home. That's how big this is.
It's a challenge. There are no faces.
No,
Everybody's
that's not,
everybody's
no,
kind of a villain.
no. There are people that play with honor. There are people that are faces.
Very few. There's very few Landons or early Wes's. There's very few because Wes has not been a face for a long
No.
time.
Wes has been a heel forever. Wes is like in
Darrell
that
would be
like
like a face. There's very few.
Modern Darrell is a face. I think old Darrell was an ass.
It was kind of okay. Anyway, we're getting
Anyways,
way off topic.
there are faces in the challenge. They're just not as popular, but there are faces out there.
You know what? Let's go ahead and make a poll and put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Who do you think are the faces of the challenge, and who do
And
you think
that
are
have
the
always
biggest
been
deals?
like who's been the Jeff Hardy of the challenge? That's always been a good person that everybody roots for, you know? Like that's
Good question.
because like even CT, you can be like, well, now old CT.
OCT was Mr. Hill.
Yeah.
He was a scary Hill. All right.
It's probably Leroy, to be honest. It's probably
It's
Leroy.
probably Leroy.
We did we just said his name.
Sometimes the choice is right there, smack dab in our face.
Yeah.
Moving on to the daily, wrapping it up. Steve and Adam gets the win. Thank God, it's about time.
Something new.
There's so many changes because even though it wasn't, I wouldn't put this as a super exciting episode where a whole lot happened, but a whole lot did happen.
That's
like
true.
so much really happened. Steve and Adam getting the win is massive. They've been thrown in time and time and time again, and now they get to exert a little revenge. And they could feel fine saying anybody's name because everybody has voted for them multiple times. Everybody's on the board.
Now this is where it comes into play of did you go first in the daily or did you get to watch everybody else go? And they literally were like, Frank and Sam were really fast, but Sam went to the board really quick. So we're going to do an extra couple slides before one of us goes. And they were able to beat them. But on top of them winning, Frank and Sam were the second fastest team of the day and beat everybody else.
So just so you guys know, last episode, Frank and Sam threw in probably one of the top 3 pegged to win this season, threw them in, and Adam and Steve won in elimination. And the very next episode, Adam and Steve wins the daily, and Frank and Sam wins the star. The complete, this is the upside down of the challenge world. It was really exciting to watch. It almost feels kind of like poetic justice a little bit. It feels just. It feels right. Like, God, they deserve the daily win. Come on, there's no cheating here. They worked hard.
Yeah.
They got the win. And Frank and Sam, who all of you guys were just calling out for being one of the weakest team, washed all of you guys. Very exciting to watch. It was very satisfying. Very satisfying. Even though it's kind of hard to be happy with Frank satisfied. He is so self-indulgent sometimes and so full of himself sometimes. It can be a little bit hard to root for him sometimes, but entertaining is all hell, and it felt great to watch.
He was hyping up Sam the whole time too, which is funny because
I'm surprised it lasted this long. I've expected Frank to implode on himself by this point. He has been doing very, very well. Even though it's looking like next episode I might get what I want, I'm surprised he's been holding up this long, and I think it shows growth and change.
Next episode is going to be about Shane and Veronica. That's what that's going to be about. Because
Oh, God. So much to talk about. Now, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this episode. The mad scramble. And this is something that has been missing from some of the latter seasons with not having a house vote.
Right.
This is such an integral part of the challenge, and I'm so glad it's here for Rivals. I'm so glad it's here for All Stars. Excuse me. The whole house gets together, specifically Nani and Turbo, Amber and Fessy. They figured out exactly what they want to do. They figured they're going to put in Katie and Veronica. Even though for Davon and Shane, this pretty much splits their alliances, but also kind of works for them since they're right down the middle.
Right.
They have the plan. They go around and tell everybody, this is the plan. It's not going to change. Katie and Veronica is going to be the house vote. Mm-hmm. Good to go. And if they're the house vote, the chances that Adam and Steve are going to put in a powerful team is going to be low because now they're going to come back and Adam and Steve is going to be everybody's bitches again. Great plan. This was a foolproof plan. Nothing should have gone wrong. Y'all had the numbers. And then Veronica wakes up the next day. She gets up early, puts on her little sundress. She goes to work. And everybody, there was a lot of comments back and forth about what Veronica did. And let me tell you why it's so masterful how she pulled this off. She didn't do too much. This isn't screaming and yelling and causing a scene and this, that, and the other, it was subtle. This wasn't coming from a scream. This came from a whisper, a very
Yeah.
soft whisper, and it wasn't to the whole house. Just a couple soft whispers to the people who trust you a little bit. This wasn't brute force. This was finesse, and that's what makes it masterful. She scaled back and only did the bare minimum. Hey, I heard your name was going around. That's not something I want. Let's figure it out and try to get you safe. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. Masterful.
Here's the big thing though, is that, and there's a lot of praise. Obviously, like Rachel and Tina are giving all this praise on like on X and everything, and this is how you play the game and everything. He, they lied though, and
They
here's the
did.
problem. Here's the problem. Back in the day, you could kind of lie or do whatever, or kind of twist the rules a little bit, and you'd have these strong players to protect you. Katie and Veronica really don't have that. And here's the thing, this move they did ended up, when we'll get to elimination, sent in one of their closest allies. So they just lost a number. And by doing this, the strong teams, as we see, started saying we all have each other's back now. So it just switched like crazy.
We're,
And
we're going to be able to break that more apart.
yeah.
You're 100% right. This was a masterful move. And the thing about it is you saved the day to lose the week. This is great now. This is going to keep you safe now. And in reality, it's fucking over for them. Th- on paper, on TV, this looks great. This looks awesome. This looks masterful. The fallout would be immense. The fallout will be 100% immense. But I'm going to save that for a little bit later. But I do give Veronica props. I think she pulled off a masterful move. I thought it was horrendous. I think it's only going to be capped off by just how horrendous it's going to end up for her. It's a very short-sighted move. Very short-sighted move.
Well, it is, and you know, it's crazy. We talk about this, and it's like, Rachel, one of her comments was like, "These new kids are so quick to like throw other people in and just protect themselves and everything." That's that's the same thing. That's what's going to happen here. I mean, it's going to happen with Katie and Veronica. They're going to have to eventually throw somebody in that they don't want to throw in because they're going to protect themselves, because that's the game they got to play now. Katie and Veronica can't go into elimination. They cannot.
No.
Like it's like they are good, but there's, I mean, we're like today's elimination. I don't think they would have won. And the one last week with Devin and Lee Wright, I don't think they would have won. Like their odds of winning an elimination, I feel like, are very low. And so this game is kind of risky if these strong teams don't actually leave. They've got to leave. And you needed, the last move should have been her to tell Steve and Adam, don't listen to Nani and Turbo. You have to send them in. Like that, or Fessy and Amber, you have to send them in, because that gets out a team that you can't beat. Like Veronica and Katie probably could beat Corey and Big T in some eliminations. So it's like, and you just lost that opportunity. So great gameplay. I'm not dogging on it. It's fantastic.
Not dogging it. It
I'm
saves them
going to
today.
work.
And you know what? And that's the position they're in. They have to play for today because their tomorrow isn't promised. And they're going to have to keep going after strong teams because they want any chance to win any money in the final. Other teams can't be there. You think what the fuck you think they're going to do against Fessy and Amber?
Yeah. Yeah.
Out of here. When we get to deliberation, Corey starts off with Ashley and Daria. This is the question I say for you. Do you think they figure out seating planning going into these nominations?
I really, that's
Like, do you
one
think
thing
somebody will jump in front so they could be the first vote and sway everything? Because I see that as very powerful. Hey, let me go and sit right here so I'll be the first person to say something and everybody else can follow suit.
yeah, because they're not in the same spot every time.
No, they're not.
Like, except for, I think they always put the star holders together,
Yeah.
but everybody else is kind of in different spots. So it's kind of interesting. That's a question that you'd actually probably want to have a guest spot on of a challenger to actually ask, because that's a behind the scenes question that I feel like nobody ever asked. How does the voting order go? Is it look like what we see on TV where they go left to right? Does he pick and choose? Like, is it random? Like,
Right.
how
It's
does
not
it
like
set
the
up?
duel where they call each other up, or like the
Right.
the other All Stars where they did that. That's easy to see.
That was
Um,
on That was on Battle for a New Champion. That was 39.
39. It wasn't on the All-Star season?
I don't know. It was
When
an
they did the
All-Star
Daisy
season.
Chain thing?
That was on. Yeah, that was a dual
That was
format.
39 because Nerese and them was there. And
Yep.
that's how the Nerese and Olivia thing started.
Hmm.
Oh, man, I miss Nerese. Oh, she would be so great for this season. Oh, all right. So Dario and Ashley are going in. Everybody follows suit. Very interesting. We get to the point. Amber calls out Melissa Nicole. Melissa, I thought played it very well. She goes, just to let you know, that's not true. And if she's like, if something like that comes up, you could just come and ask me. And I think that's right when the bell hit off for Amber. Amber's like, holy shit, somebody came directly to me, said this is what you said, and you're saying otherwise. And I think she was smart enough to believe Melissa when she said it. And I think it just instantly kind of clicked for her, a little bit. And I think that's right there is when the switch came on Veronica. Now, before we get into the daily, this is why I think it's really, really short-sighted of them. Dario and Ashley has already pissed a lot of people off last episode. They're kind of the, persona non grata.
Right.
You just took all of that off of them and you put it on yourselves. And the strong teams all now know it was you.
And so a big thing too. We didn't touch on this actually. So I actually saw Sam was on Zach's podcast, and talked about it, and pretty much was like Frank was already going to put them in. I tried not putting him in. Frank was already going to do it. All Dario did was speak up when he didn't have to speak up.
Oh, 100%.
He could have just said nothing, and the same result would have happened, and his friendship would have been like not tarnished at all.
Oh, 100%. I saw that while it was happening. I was just like, why is he even saying anything? He had it easy out. Hey, I was just talking just random gameplay. I'm not maneuvering for this to happen, but this is what I think it'll happen. You probably want to start preparing because you're probably going to go into elimination. I'm not voting anybody in. It's not my vote.
Yeah.
It come to house vote. I'm not going to vote for you. Like, that's all he had to do. Very simple. But if it's one thing that I've realized, and I know we haven't seen Dario on the show for a while, if it's one thing that I've realized about Dario, is that he's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot. Every season he does something to blow up his gameplay. Ashley K is a absolute smoke show, and you fucked that up. You ran out because she wanted a baby. Sir,
hold on.
You're 30-something. Go start a family.
He's 32 now. Hold on. We need to let's go back to this. Hold on, because they met on Invasion of the Champions, which would have been 8 years ago. So he would have been 24.
Perfect baby making age.
I mean, yeah, I had.
How many babies you had at 24?
We had one, and we are pushing for more. Like, but I'm just like, I think we might have been
perfect baby making age.
No, for me, yeah, but for somebody like Dario, for most people, like I'm just saying, he was 24, and I don't know how old Ashley. Ashley's a little bit older than him, right? She's a little bit older.
Yeah, but he wasn't 24 when they probably wanted a baby. That's probably years later.
It'd be 24, 25, because they dated for like a year. So at most, he'd be 25.
Wait, they only dated for a year?
Well, they dated for like 2 years, I think, like a year or two. But they would have started dating when he was like 24. She's 38. So 8 years ago, she'd have been 30. So for her, yeah, they were 30 and 24. For her, that's prime age to be like,
Wait, is she older?
She's 38.
Ashley K?
She's 6 years older than Dario.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I mean, like Frank's 30, Frank's 35. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Ashley was pretty old because even Sam's 35, and I think Zach.
Oh, they did break up a long time ago. About 7 years ago, they broke up.
Exactly. So he would have been about 25. She'd have been about 30, 31. So
you know what? I don't care. He should put a baby in that, in my opinion.
I'm just saying, if we were to find a reason to be unbiased and like, what's his side of the story? He was 24, 25. He's running wild. He just, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I would have. Respectfully, I'm just not gonna say what I would have done in that situation. I would have.
It's just interesting that why they. Yeah, it's just. I don't know, but
I would have done it because he cheated.
Yeah, I saw that tweet, and so.
So I'm glad I was wrong, because getting cheated on absolutely sucks. Hey, Tyler, you ever been cheated on?
Mm-mm.
Good for you.
I don't think so.
Good for you. I have never officially been cheated on, but I've been hurt.
Yeah. Well, let's move on from this conversation relationship. So what we got?
So now we're on the
Um,
elimination.
yeah, let's and again we get unique elimination, something people you can kind of work on balance, but balancing with a partner is something that most people probably don't do.
What was the name of the elimination? Stack attack.
Stack attack.
Okay, because I thought I missed it, but I thought I heard it. I was like, yeah, it sounds like a stack attack.
Yeah.
This was a great elimination.
Yeah,
Great elimination. Anybody could win because you know what? You could even put in a Veronica and Katie, and this is the kind of elimination where they have a chance.
potentially, yeah.
I mean,
It's
on
it,
paper.
it on paper, yeah. It is it's not the most fun one to watch, but it is pretty good. This reminds me, remember it was I think it was Tyler and somebody else on Challenge USA 2. Remember they had to crawl to get the little balls, and then they had to come back and stack them in a pyramid. But if they moved too much, the balls would scatter. That's kind of what, these balancing things. I bet these are some of the most difficult eliminations to do.
100%. And I've always been critical for production, especially when it comes to like the cinematography. I like, even if something isn't a great elimination or daily, you got to at least make it look good on camera.
Right.
This was going to look how it's going to look on camera. There's only but really so much you can do. But the editing was really good. And I say that because I do think this is one of the eliminations that did come really close, but it seemed tense. It built tension all the way through into the end. And I really, really felt it, and it really made the elimination that much better.
I mean, it's like at the very end, like it is like it's that
You're
close.
that close,
Like
yeah.
really, I mean, if right there when they're counting and they're about to blow the whistle on Dario and Ashley, and like one falls, 2 seconds later, Corey and Big T win. Like it's so crazy how close it was, and it was yeah, it's a good elimination. I think eliminations have to be something that like the problem that I have with physical eliminations like pole wrestle or hall brawl or like whatever is that somebody clearly has an advantage, and that's not what the whole point. It should be like a 50-50. Like it should be like you're not it should be really circusy.
I feel you on that one, but I feel like you have to have something that's going to have advantages and disadvantages because not everybody's going to have the same advantage. We've seen the smaller guy win in Hall Brawl. We've seen Derek K.
When is the small guy won in Hall Brawl ever?
Jordan, the 2-on-2 Hall Brawl.
That was a 2-on-2 Hall Brawl. And that was also, we're talking about Ty, somebody that's not one of the best competitors.
But massively. Did anybody think that Jordan Marlon was going to pull that off?
I mean, Marlon was a Division I athlete, so.
But when you saw it, did you think they were going to pull it off?
No,
Not
I
at
didn't.
all.
I didn't think they would, but those are game, yeah. But I don't think that was like as unevenly matched as like Jay versus Rogan.
Right. But you got to mix it up every once in a while. Every once in a while, you're going to have to draw the shitty end of the stick. And think about it. With some of these big guys, anything with climbing a rope is torture. As soon as they see a rope, they're like, shit.
Yeah, we once had an elimination on Duel 2. It was Derek versus Big E, and it was it was called pole dancing, and it was a circular pole to climb up.
Like for all of the stuff that I'm able to do physically, once I see a rope, I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about that? You gonna pull your own body weight up, big boy?
But the point to that is that when we get these eliminations they don't have equalizers and they're just whoever can get this task done first wins, and it's hard to do. Those are the best eliminations because they're unpredictable. Anybody can win, and until the last second, you don't know.
I wouldn't agree with Bess. I would say they do have a place, and we do need them, and we probably need them more than any other elimination. But you gotta have the straight up. This can be built for somebody with a certain advantage, because that's how you get underdogs.
If we got a Hall Brawl and it was like Zach versus Fessy, then I would want a Hall Brawl.
That would be great.
But it'd have to be like 5 years ago, because I mean Zach's out of the game for a while and everything. I think that stuff does fade eventually.
I think only because Fessy is bigger and younger, he'll probably wash Zach up. Zach is strong and all, but I think Fessy's just probably a little bit more in game shape.
They both played collegiately, so I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
I mean,
you know what? MTV, you got the fucking show. Make it happen, man.
But it's also like it's like pole wrestle. Pole wrestle is good when it's like Wes versus Derek in Duel One, which is still the best pole wrestle to this day. I don't care what it is the best pole wrestle, and anybody could have won. Like that's like they're both strong. Like
Yeah,
who could win?
it
You know
was
what I mean?
entertaining. Ah,
Yes.
such great elimination. Um, do you feel like Dario actually made a statement with this win? I know Corey and Big T aren't exactly, powerhouses. They were well liked somewhat, but I don't know. Do you think winning this gets, thank God Veronica and put a lot of attention on them for next week. But do you feel like this was a big enough statement to buy themselves a little bit of leeway going forward?
I think it just showed that they are in the top tier. Like they are on
Hmm.
the like if you were going to rank teams based on their skill set, they're on the top half. That's all it showed. So I think all it did was, and at any time you win an elimination, it's going to put you pretty much everybody's going to think that you are better than you should. Like you need to be there. I don't know the best way I'm trying to word this. Like your target increases every time you win an elimination because it's like, oh, you were able to do that. You were able to send somebody home. So I don't know if it doesn't help their game. It gives them momentum, but they're still a big target. They just got voted in. A couple fun facts. This is Big T's eighth elimination and is the first time she's ever done a pairs elimination.
Really?
Because when she was with like CT on Double Agents, they were individual eliminations, and same thing
That's
with like
right.
every season she's done. This is the first pairs elimination she's done, which is
What's your
interesting.
elimination record?
Oh gosh, I don't not very good. I don't know.
If
Let's
it
pull it
is
up right
eight,
now.
it's probably like 1-7.
She has won three. So
Okay.
this was actually
My
her
fault,
ninth.
Big T. I wasn't familiar with your game. No
She's
disrespect.
she's 3-6. So I mean,
Could be
it's
worse.
but also she lost to Georgia, who was really good. She lost to Amber B. Um,
Phenomenal.
she lost to Amanda, and she lost to Emmy. Those aren't great.
Yeah,
She lost to Casey. So I mean,
solid. Oh, God, man. Georgia should have been there for season 40.
well, she'll never be back on the challenge, but
Why do you think she'll never be back? I mean, it's not like
but
Bears coming back.
well, just I don't know. I think it's just like I think when you have something like that detrimental happen to your life, it's like you want to avoid it and move on from it as best as possible. So
Yeah,
that's just what you do.
but that wasn't really challenge related.
But she met him through the challenge.
Mm, they,
Everything.
no, they knew each other before then.
Oh,
They've
well, I
known
don't
each other
know.
for years. I think it's because in the UK, she's a much bigger star in the
Yeah.
UK. In the UK, these reality stars and stuff are blown to astronomical proportions. Like, like she's
Here-
huge in England.
Here's the thing. I think that she just was a really good competitor, and we didn't get a lot
I
of
think so
like.
too.
But when you look at it, like there's just not a lot of good like. A Big T is just as entertaining as her on TV. Jenny is a better competitor than her on TV. So it's like you already have those. Melissa is more entertaining on TV. So it's like you already have the English representative from these women.
Oh, don't get
And
me started
then
on Melissa.
so stop. Anyways, but yeah, anyways, let's continue. Let's continue on.
Okay, this is the part I'm really excited for. A lot has happened these last two episodes. I need to see how you got everybody ranked up.
Well, I'll tell you right now, somebody didn't move and they stayed at number 8. Let's start there, okay? Melissa and Nicole, you are somehow the worst team here, not only in like performing, like you're not performing that great in dailies, but your political game is horrible. People went behind your back and said, yeah, they're throwing your alliance member, Veronica, went and told somebody else that you were throwing somebody else's name in, and then you got some votes at the nominations, and you didn't do anything. On top of that, they just lost a number one ally in Big T and Corey that we're never going to say their name. So that's really detrimental. Katie and Veronica are at 7. The reason why they don't move too much, they lost an ally. I think the tide's going to turn, and obviously we see this drama between
Yeah,
her and Shane. I think is going to come
they're
head
safe
next episode.
today, but there's going to be hell to pay going forward.
And the big problem is that even if like we're talking Melissa and Nicole, Katie and Veronica, and then like Frank and Sam, you need Shane and Davon to be on your side. And even then it's a 50-50 split at best. and you're gonna hope Adam and Steve do, but we'll see. They're gonna be at the bottom. They say they're at the bottom anyways, so
Hmm.
why should I move them up? Shane and Davon are at 6 for me. They're just in the middle. They're not really doing too much. They're just kind of doing all right in dailies.
And they're going to
Um,
be below Dario and Ashley because at least they got an elimination win.
and Dario and Davon, I guess, still doesn't know how to swim. Like that's what are you doing? Why would they pair up the worst swimmer with the best swimmer? Like why would they do that? Like I mean, it's just
Because they said something mean to each other once.
yeah. Well, okay. So then, well, he called her a B word, and
Yeah.
it was a big.
It was a big thing at the time.
If you ever want a good laugh, go back and rewatch that. It is actually hilarious. Like, oh, you're gonna call me one? Yeah, I am gonna call you it, and just does it again. And like, Nani and Turbo are at 5. They're just kind of hoping that the bigger teams can kind of dominate, but they still haven't been doing that great in dailies that they should be.
Man, they
Amber
should
and
be so much higher than that.
well, we'll see. Amber and Fessy are at 4. I think they're performing better than Nani and Turbo. I think they have a better hold. They have more alliances. Ashley and Dario move up to 3. They made a big move and they got Leroy out, which helps their game. And then they were
Erroneous.
target.
He did. I'm sorry. You are so wrong. They
Hang
should
on.
not be number 3.
They're 3. They just won a daily. And on top of that, if you think about it, right now, if these power players are all working together, they're with Frank and Sam, but they're also with Adam and Steve, but they're also with Amber and Fessy, but they're also with Nani and Turbo.
We're talking about Dario and Ashley.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
Frank and Sam won't say their name because their connection to Ashley. Amber and Fessy won't say their name because their connection to Ashley. Nani and Turbo won't say their name because their connection to Ashley. So it's like because of Ashley, we're just looking at the Dario backstabbing Leroy thing and it sucks. But they won a daily and I think they have momentum. Number 2 is Frank and Sam for me. I mean, they win a daily, send somebody in, get a star. That's almost the best you can be. The only reason they're number 1 is because Adam and Steve have been the power players this whole time. They've sent everybody home, including today. They voted somebody in, and that person went home.
Adam and Steve making peace with Fessy, Amber, Nani, and Turbo. You think good idea, bad idea? I think that was the absolute best play they could make.
You have power, you need to use it.
Yes.
And it needs to be, and the best way to use power for longer than this day is, will you protect me? And if it goes both ways, but here's the problem. Devin and Leroy protected Frank and Sam, and they were going to do the same, and then they didn't. So this only looks great if Nani and Turbo or Fessy and Amber repay.
And
Otherwise, they're going back in.
Fessy has done, he's done a couple grimy things once or twice, but that's not really his motif. Amber, even though people yell about how untrustworthy she is, Amber B is trustworthy throughout the whole entire career. You can trust Amber.
She also can't read. She can't read people to save her life.
Oh,
She thought she was in the Big Brother alliance. She thinks Veronica's being nice to her and helping her out. Like
I think that might have to do with her autism diagnosis. I think some of those social cues. I think she takes people very much for face value. But even with that, she plays honestly. She's an honest person, and she has kept her word. To be honest, Amber B is one of the most trustworthy people in the house, if not the most. Turbo also doesn't really go back on his words or anything, but we have a small sample size for that. And Nani, she's more known to go with the crowd, but backstabbing people isn't really her thing. Bad decisions, sure, but
if you're one of her top people, she will hold you down. She would never say Leroy's name, like never, even if he was the majority vote. So it's like, but like Ashley and Dario, okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
I think that's smart for Adam and Steve because I think this helps protect them on the way to get into a final. With these two teams who are probably going to hold up and get to the final, if they're all protecting each other, you got 75% of the finals right there.
You know what I want to do? I want to see Katie and Veronica win a daily and then be like, all right.
The hell that would unleash on this house?
But then I want to be like, okay, are you actually friends with Adam and Steve? Because they will mop the floor with you in a final. Do you actually want to take them to a final? Now's your chance. Now's your chance. What are you going to do?
Like, that'd be very interesting to see.
It would be great when we get down to 5 teams if they won and they were like, well, we can either send in Adam and Steve or Melissa and Nicole. Like, who are you going to do? Like,
Yeah, Adam and Steve all the way.
but I mean, we're sitting here. We have 8 teams left. 4 have stars. We know 4 more people are going to get eliminated. I mean, it should be. I mean, if you were to tell me right now who's locked in the final, I couldn't tell you because I don't know if the underdogs are going to take over. I don't know if the power players are going to take over. I don't know if we're going to get some type of mix. Like,
I'm I'm confident Fessy and Amber are going to make it to the final because I don't see a lot of eliminations that they were losing.
what if they go in against Adam and Steve?
Adam and
That,
Steve, Arturo and Nani could be a problem. But in that case, Dario and Ashley, Frank and Sam. For now, Frank and Sam and Dario and Ashley might get a win. I don't think you have anything to worry about from Nicole and Melissa or Veronica and Katie. And Shane and Davon could just go, who the fuck knows?
they're the dark horse. They really
They
seem like a
really
team.
are.
The fact that we're not getting as much coverage and we're kind of, we just got a little bit of like they're in the middle and next episode we're going to get more, makes it feel like they're going to be the team at the very end to make a bold move and get in the final. Like, you know what I mean? Here's what I want to know. What happens if we have 5 teams left, right?
Right?
4 star holders, 1 non-star holder. The 1 non-star holder wins the daily. Do they have to go into elimination? Can't they just send 2 star holders and then that other star has to go to them? Is that a risk
Interesting.
somebody be willing? Is that a risk somebody be willing to take?
Very interesting.
Or would they
And,
just send 3 people into a final?
and who do we have at the top of the power ranking?
It's Adam and Steve. Adam and Steve are number 1. It makes the
Makes
most
sense.
sense.
They won the daily. They got some protection going forward. They can stop being everybody's bitch. That Adam and Steve train is just about over, which I think was going to make these deliberations really lively. Adam and Steve being number 1 makes sense. They've been mopping the floor with everybody been put in front of them, and now they're winning dailies. Now
Mhm.
they're winning dailies. You're all on the chopping block as you should be. But
Yeah.
they did the smartest thing for them, and they put themselves within a strong alliance of watching out for each other with the star holders. They're going to ride that all the way to the final.
Yeah. They really could. So, but we will see.
We will see. And that is going to conclude episode 6 of The Challenge All Stars Rivals. Anything to touch on before we get out of here?
I've been scrolling X and I've been scrolling Twitter. I don't want to call it X, Twitter.
I still call it Twitter.
Forget it's
I
Twitter.
actually have not been
Um,
on socials that much.
Yeah, and well, I'm scrolling like today, and there's nothing really. I mean
One thing. Apparently Wes told People Magazine, or somebody who works at People Magazine, that Kelsey and Taylor Swift was dating way before they came out. About
Yeah,
6 months before.
because he's neighbors with Kellis. So
I was on Paige's TikTok, Paige from the Most Likely To podcast. Awesome person. Go check her out. And I was just like, you know what? His proximity is a low key flex. Just his proximity. Yeah, I'm just around there. Get to see things. It's a low key kind of flex. Travis? Oh, no, he's just my neighbor. I just call him Travie. Ask him if he has any brown sugar every once in a while because I ran out. It is a low key kind of flex.
and he's a Chiefs fan too, obviously. So it's like
I can't knock it.
I don't know. There's let's see, Traders reunion's gonna happen, which is like meh, whatever.
Never seen that
Um,
episode.
Show kind of died off a little bit after like West goes. Yeah, honestly, I've been like looking and I don't see any drama. I thought I saw a challenge fact that I was gonna try and tell you. Um, Somebody posted that like with season 41, people that were born in the 2000s will finally be on the show. I think everybody that has been on the show so far, they were saying, has been born at least 99 or earlier. Which I mean, think about it, somebody who's born in the year 2001, like they're 24 years old. Like
Don't
they were
remind me.
they were, yeah. I mean, what are you talking about, man? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm a ni-
old.
I'm a-
I mean, you
I'm a
can't
90s
tell
baby.
because my beard is all black and my hair is all black now, but no, I'm old, man.
yeah, I'm trying to. I thought I saw a stat, and I was going to try and tell you about it because I thought it was very interesting, but I can't remember it. So we're just gonna. Oh, every person that has been sent in by the power team has went home, which like does not happen. Like normally, it's like oh god damn
No,
it, they came back.
it's a good mix.
Everybody that's had power has sent somebody in, and their hands have been clean.
But that just shows that they're making good choices. Hey, if we're going to throw somebody in, have our name attached, we're not going to put in somebody that can come back.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, today has been by far the closest elimination. Everything else, people have been getting washed.
yeah. And I
Washed
really,
hung out to dry.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Make sure you follow us on socials. I'm on X and Instagram at Malik_MTV. Make sure you follow Tyler at Lord Louder. Make sure you follow us everything at LWC Podcast. That's on TikTok, X, Facebook, and Insta, which is Instagram freaking graveyard. But that's fine. That's not really where our people are at. That's going to do it for us. Once again, I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. This is Love, War, Challenges. Peace.